Hello, I'm Kasthuri Arachchi. I'm coming to with a project to help students, teachers, and resource people. My idea is to make education available for as many as possible. In this kind of a situation, that means during the pandemic, not only students but also teachers and other resource people also face problems. Main consideration in education system right now is that we don't have enough online access to people. In a European country like Sri Lanka, we do not have much of internet access. So not just the mobile phones, tablets or laptops we are considering, but internet connection is a must in an online education. Only about 47% of the Sri Lanka has an internet penetration. So out of that, only few has access to a strong, reliable, stable network access in Sri Lanka. So it breaks down to even little parts because there are so many rural areas in Sri Lanka which do not receive much of the signals, and then we have to break it down to another parts. That means some do not have mobile phones, tablets, laptops or PCs or whatever they need to access their education. But my basic aim is to provide a shelter for students who need to learn. The resource center is what consists of a mode of communications. That means a strong internet connection, devices to access the internet and other devices to use it whatever way you want to achieve your education goals. So these education systems facing so many problems like in case of the online education, children and both resource people lack experience in online education and they lack IT knowledge to set up their online accounts and set up their devices, not just setting up afterwards. So that point comes to troubleshooting, and not everyone can afford a mobile phone, a laptop or tablet or PC. Those at least a lowest price for a good working condition mobile phone would cost around 15,000. So as a PC, it would cost around 15 to 25,000. And last, it comes to infrastructure, a suitable and reliable and stable internet connection. Building a resource center doesn't solve every student's problems, but it can provide to some. So some must be thinking that this learning center, resource center, solve their issue. In fact, I can say no, it doesn't. But it has an effect. Let's take a scenario like this. Let's say a PC would cost around 25,000 and the internet connection would cost around 500 rupees. And for the, let's say, the minimum possible way to gain more is to get an internet dongle. So it would cost around 1,500. So altogether it would be 27,000 per student. But in our resource center, we invest just for the resource center, not for the people, not for the students. Let's say a day at resource center is 12 hours. That means 7 in the morning to 7 in the evening. We divide students into batches. That means 10 students per batch for the resource center. Every 10 students get to learn, study for 3 hours per day. That means we get 4 batches per day. That means around 40 students. Then it would be 40 into 7. 210 students will be benefited from resource center. It's bigger than, better than those 5 students we are focusing on. And from the facts that learning from home and an institute can somewhat be tricky for students. As I'm in the field of IT also, I know that this young generation tends towards mobile phones, social media much. And sometimes they are out of limits, out of boundaries, and sometimes parents can't control them. Parents can't guide them. That's not their fault or that's not their parents' fault. It's the era we are living in. So one of our benefits from this resource center is we can give education for more students. And the next thing is we can control them. We can control access to which websites they are going to, which social media they are going to. We can restrict access as we want. And our resource center doesn't just focus on students. In the beginning, I said we are planning on using it for resource people and teachers. So at the moment, I have a group of teachers that are willing to work with me to provide education for students in need. So our resource center will not just focus on students to learn from online education. If they come across a subject that they need, if I have a teacher or resource person who can guide them, who can teach them, who can work with them, who can study with them, so my resource center will focus on online education, of course, and on-site education. My concept is just a small concept, but this concept does not have limits. In most of the countries, they have online universities, online diplomas, degrees, masters. But in Sri Lanka, we just step onto it. We have to make it better for our students and our younger generations. So at last, I hope that you will think about my project and give me a helping hand. Because I know that there are people who like others to succeed. Because education is what defines everyone. We are here today because of the education. You are there. That's what I want to do with my resource center. Just give it a try. Just give me a hand. We'll try to work this out. And last, everyone who can help me, everyone who have faith in me, have hope in me, I won't just ignore them. If they come across another project, another idea, I will help you. I don't care how much you give for that matter. Have a nice day and think about my project.